What's up, everybody? If you want to join the greatest online Star Wars community, the Fandom Menace, make sure you hit that subscribe button before today's video starts, so you don't miss out on any updates and you're always the first to know when our newest videos go live.
The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
The failure that is The Last of Us 2 has reached an embarrassingly new low as hordes of people try to return the game, only to find they can't. The Last of Us 2 is a dumpster fire. Every day, more news keeps coming out, but this story is my absolute favorite. JB Hi-Fi, Australia's biggest video game retailer, has allegedly stopped allowing dissatisfied customers from returning their copies of The Last of Us 2. I have never heard of something like this before. According to a story over on Sausage Roll, people are having a difficult time playing through The Last of Us 2 due to some of its graphic and controversial scenes, and are reportedly returning the game en masse. There are some highly controversial and graphic elements of Naughty Dog's new AAA title, The Last of Us Part 2, and a lot of people are struggling through the game after coming face to face with some of its many challenging moments. Earlier this year, Naughty Dog's president himself, Neil Druckmann, warned people that not everybody is going to like the direction that The Last of Us Part 2 is going. And that seems to be evident right now with the amount of returns some Australian retailers are receiving. Sony and Naughty Dog copped it hard when one of the game's biggest plot devices was spoiled in a massive leak that ruined the game for a lot of people earlier this year. Not only did the leak spoil the game, but to some, it appeared that Naughty Dog was pushing a political agenda. Still, those who were fine with it were not thrilled to learn of the fate of their favorite surrogate father-daughter duo. The game is filled with shocking and graphic moments, but the most dividing plot element happens roughly a quarter of the way through the game, and people are reportedly not playing past that part. Australia's largest game retailer, JB Hi-Fi, are reportedly not accepting any more returns of The Last of Us Part 2, and have temporarily suspended trade-ins during the game's release. While we have reached out to JB Hi-Fi for comment regarding the temporary suspension of trade-ins, as we understand, that temporary ban may, in fact, be in place during lockdown to stop the spread of the nasty virus. However, this is the first time people have reported seeing this sign, and it's only posted on The Last of Us Part 2 display, and people have claimed that JB Hi-Fi have been accepting trade-ins during lockdown. The reviews on the official product page of JB Hi-Fi seem to echo the sentiment a lot of people are unhappy with the game and intend to return it. Philly wrote, "Enjoyed the first game and story. Part 2, however, clearly has improved graphics, but does little to innovate on mechanics. It's still a creep, loot, shoot, repeat, only now it has a flat, boring story. The LGBT stuff doesn't bother me, but I feel it would bother some people as it really is shoved down your throat a bit here. After sitting through hours of gameplay that felt more like an interactive movie, the boredom has become too great. I'll be returning/selling this game soon. What a shame, they did very little to build or improve the first game." We'll have an update on this article once we receive a response from JB Hi-Fi. Excuse the schadenfreude. It just keeps getting worse and worse for Naughty Dog. This weekend is truly gold for The Last of Us 2 news. All of it bad. It's almost like Naughty Dog is getting the karma they deserve, after all the cheap shots they took at content creators during the build-up to the game's release. If this story is true, this has to be the most embarrassing one. Yes, they should feel terrible that they've ruined some people's favorite franchise, sullied the PlayStation brand, and tarnished their legacy, but hey, at least we pandered to the right people. High fives all around, guys. High fives all around. I decided to check out the fan reviews of the JB Hi-Fi site, and here's what they have to say. Maestro, hit the music. So here we are on JB Hi-Fi's website, as you see The Last of Us Part 2, $79, add to wishlist, 3.6 out of 5. So here we have the first review. Let's see. 1 star, disappointed. Enjoyed the first game and story Part 2. So this is the same one we just read from the article. So, moving on, we have a 4-star review, breathtaking. This game isn't just any other game. It's a beautiful achievement in fluidity and storytelling and interactive media. The only reason not giving it a 5-star is that there were 2 glitches. I won't go much into the detail, but everyone needs to experience it. This is the new benchmark. Don't be discouraged by user scores. Majority of people that did not play the full game and watch the gameplay at all. Okay, that's reliable. Incredible, ignore the negative review scores. That one seems a little bit reactionary. 1 star, I genuinely tried to like it. I was open-minded despite the negative leaks. Turns out the story is much worse, takes a 180-degree turn. Okay, there seems to be a thread, but again, we have to treat 1s just like 5s. Take them with a grain of salt. Okay, we also have, let's see, good, don't believe the haters. Haters makes me instantly not pay attention to your review. Don't let the bad reviews get to you. So are we only supposed to accept the positive ones? Alright, here we go. 2 stars. Save the money. After 7 years, I expected something amazing. What received was a poorly written and paced game. The production value was throughout the roof, however, this cannot overcome the horrid writing this game tries to portray as a story. Target mechanics frequently break, blah blah blah. And let's load a couple more. So we have another 1-star review, garbage, it's nothing like that. I was looking for the word logic because it seems like a lot of people's complaints are that the game has no logic, internal logic. The same complaint people had about Star Wars The Last Jedi. More on that next time. But here we go, a 5-er. I love the attention to the detail. Some people are saying avoid the game. It kills every aspect of the original. I think that's what hurts it the most, probably. As much plot armor as you can carry. Plot armor seems to be what these people do when they want to have these terrible games. So they infuse these politics, and that's the plot armor, and you can't criticize it without being a bigot. And a final swan song for the PS4. So while these reviews aren't overly negative, I don't think we should take the negative ones out of context as well, because we have some good ones and some bad ones. So this is a pretty decent sample size, so like a 3.6 out of 5. Maybe that's more of a fair score. I think a lot of people have issues when it comes to the plethora of perfect 10s. Now, let's be honest. Returning a video game is nothing new. There's over 5,000 GameStops across the world, and I guarantee you that each one of those stores is jam-packed with dozens of copies of Just Dance. So no matter how many people return The Last of Us 2, it'll never hold the title of the most returned game ever. Quick side note, when I googled the most returned game ever, I got an article about Final Fantasy VII, a game that's widely considered the greatest of all time. There's nothing more to say about it, I just thought it was interesting. While The Last of Us 2 may never carry that title, the speed at which people are returning the game is incredible. But like the article says about Final Fantasy VII, it's doubtful Sony or Squaresoft shared details about how many copies of Final Fantasy VII were returned. And I doubt that Naughty Dog and Sony would do that same thing either. As I said earlier, Naughty Dog is getting the karma they deserve. Garbage in, garbage out. And it looks like fans are being fed up with the trash shoved down their throats. If this story is true, expect a slew of similar occurrences to pop up all over. Will The Last of Us 2 take the ET approach and end up in a landfill? I hope not, because the hatred that went into The Last of Us 2 is toxic, and that will kill our planet. So folks, that's it for today. What do you think of this news? Again, take all of these rumors with grains of salt, but it's pretty funny. The timing is pretty convenient. And speaking of timing, a game that pisses on the legacy of a father-daughter duo, it's perfect to release it over Father's Day weekend. Thanks guys over at Naughty Dog, you really wanted to put the salt in the wound, didn't you? Well, we'll see who laughs last. Next time, folks, I will be back with a video about the double standards of the critics' reviews and why Naughty Dog's The Last of Us 2 shares too many parallels to another failed, yet somehow successful, movie franchise. So for that parallel, come back next time, folks. If you enjoyed this video, share this all over social media and join us over on social media. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're everywhere. But if you want more of us and you want more content, we're over on Patreon. $1 a month goes a long way, but $5, which is only 17 cents a day, goes even further, and it gives you exclusive access to tons of content, and it keeps the lights on here on the channel. So folks, I gotta go get prepared for the next video. So until next time, folks, go out into the world and be excellent to each other.